Oh, hey there, YouTube, Eagles Nation, all my football fam. We got a little intro soundtrack for you today, because why not? We wanted to be cool like that. So it's your girl Delia with PhilaDehliaEagles.com. If you are watching me and my crew, we are on my YouTube channel, PhilaDehlia, but I'm chilling with the homies, Phila and E-Rock. Across
What's going on, guys?
Up in Philadelphia, you know what I'm saying? So you got LA Eagles fans repping here, East Coast Eagles fan over there. And we're about to talk about our birds, a little kind of recap on the Saints game and a little preview talk on the upcoming Monday night blackout versus the Giants.
The blackout.
So before we get into all this fun talk and all the numbers and all the speculation and all this analysis, I'm going to start off with a tweet from Lane Johnson after the Eagles victory. And he was referencing our quarterback, Sam Bradford, giving them a little pep talk. So Johnson said, Sam pulled us back there by the showers and had an offensive meeting and said, it's time to go. We have the talent. We have the ability. We just have to go out there and get it done. It's just a matter of executing. So, you know what? In kind of an odd place to hold a little pep, pump up meeting. And Bradford did start out throwing 2 red zone interceptions, but that didn't stop him from having an overall game of 333 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Hey, that's an improvement.
So what do you guys think about that?
From last week.
Our boy giving little pep talks in the shower.
Yeah, it's bad times when hey, listen, whatever it works, I'm on like whatever it works. If we've got to go into the stall, like if he's got to do number 2 and we need to do a meeting and we win the next game or we win the next 12 games, I'm all for it. It doesn't matter to me.
So, okay, it was a good game. And I want to run off some of the numbers. And my boy here has been doing all that little research and has got it all written out for us. So I'm going to have him break down the numbers. Then we're just going to talk about the game. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
All
Eagles
right.
fans, what's going on? Let's take a look at last week's big win over the New Orleans Saints. We got a couple team stats we want to just kind of talk about here. First of all, 300 yards of offense, first half. Pretty impressive. 500 total yards in the game. Running back by committees. DeMarco Murray had a coming out party after talking about he needs more touches. Him and Ryan Matthews, along with Darren Sproles, combined for a total of 186 yards on the ground. We had 4 offensive touchdowns, 2 on the run, 2 via pass. Get this, guys, and this is no misprint. We punted 1 time the whole game. How about that? Defensive turnovers, forcing 4 turnovers. Fletcher Cox, I believe, had about 3 of them by itself. No, he had 3 forced fumbles.
We'll get to
we'll get to Fletcher in a minute. And we also had an interception. 79 snaps by the offense. So this time, instead of, Chip Kelly always talks about time of possession and him not really caring about that. Well, let's take a number of snaps this time by the offense. We're used to our defense being on the field for 89, 79 snaps. But this time, our offense really controlled this game and stayed on the field more so than the Saints did. We do have the TOP, even though Chip doesn't care about it, but 34 minutes to the Saints 25. And as far as defensive snaps, we've been getting gassed the last few weeks with 89, 84 snaps a game. Defensive snaps down to 69 this game. So these are the telling stats to the game, and this is how we led our team to victory.
There you have it. So what do these numbers tell you, Mr. E-Rock out there in Philadelphia?
I love numbers just as much as the next guy in Philly. That is a great breakdown of numbers of the game. But a lot of times when I'm at the game, I can't hear the commentators. I don't have the radio headset on. So I am a big believer in the eyeball test. And I erase the score, I erase the record, and we just take a look eyeball and how's this team look. Now, Chip Kelly said a couple weeks ago, or rather last week before this victory, that a couple things would bounce here or there, and the Eagles would be 3-1 instead of 1-3, which is completely true. But if you erased all that and erased the scores and erased the record, look very good in those first, couple games, those first 4 games. This game, Take away the score, take away the numbers. I saw a much better offensive game plan. I saw the defense well rested and making plays and getting after the quarterback, causing turnovers. I saw the running backs get involved in a huge way, a breakout game that they needed. I saw Chip Kelly mixing up two tight end sets, Sam Bradford under center, crossing routes, creative ways to get the boys open. So for me, from an eyeball standpoint, boy, did this Eagles team look a hell of a lot better than it did in the first 4 games.
There we go, folks. Live from Philly. Passing the eyeball test. No.
Pass the eyeball test this week versus
This week.
So, people are making the point, well, it's the Saints. They suck, blah, 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 blah. Of course you should beat them. My response is, well, yes, of course we should beat them, but we dominated. And that's a whole difference.
Yeah.
It's one thing to beat a team. Like if it came down to a field goal, I'd be nervous, like if we can barely beat them, but we really just owned them. They didn't have that second score until, the end of the game, garbage time, that touchdown. So I'm feeling, I'm always optimistic,
right?
But now it's nice to have something like reaffirming my optimistic thoughts. So I'm in a good place.
Good.
And one of the most underrated parts about that entire game is that first quarter, Sam Bradford dumping 2 interceptions in the end zone, and the team was able to rebound from that. I mean, you've seen other games, other teams. We've watched football, all of us collectively enough to see a team get down early. The wind just goes out of their sails. They get deflated, and they play the rest of the game flat. The Eagles responded in that game, which is a huge sense of, exactly what Sam was drawing everybody in the shower to do, and that is to bond this team together. If it's got to be in the shower, whatever, dude, they responded, and that's awesome.
Yeah, and first of all, too, I want to go back to the Eagles were supposed to win this game. I don't really see it that way. I look at it as 2 1-3 teams. Both teams are struggling. Both teams needed this win. It's a must-win for both teams. The Eagles defense going up against a Hall of Fame Drew Brees, top 3, top 5 quarterback for the last, decade or so. Still has Marcus Colston, has a new weapon in Brandon Cook, the speedster. We saw him get deep back there. Has a nice run game. So, I mean, hey, make no bones about it. This was a quality win as far as I'm concerned. And you heard Andy, Andy Reid's always make the quote, a win is a win in the National Football League. And that's how I feel about this win.
Referencing the old Andy Reid.
And can I just go on record real quick and say in the first couple weeks, because we were getting our asses kicked, I pointed a lot of fingers right at Chip Kelly. Because when the Eagles lose, especially when they get dominated, it's on the head coach. Well, in this game, Chip Kelly deserves all the credit. He had the boys ready to play. The offensive game plan was on point. So I am more than willing to give Chip Kelly all the credit for this win.
Yeah, well deserved. And you brought up a good point, like with Bradford being able to the whole team being able to rebound after 2 huge blows on the offensive side, to go all that way and then have it end with the opponent intercepting the ball, all that work for nothing, but being able to stay strong and fight through that and not letting those moments just completely break down your team and your offense, that says a lot. That's a team that can be resilient, and you need that in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Because games go, you can start hot, cold, you got to hang in there throughout the entire game, and it was nice to see them do that for once.
And E-Rock, I think you made a good point, too, about some of the adjustments that Chip made. We got to give him credit where credit is due. Hey, listen, I mean, the whole city of Philadelphia, the media, national media, everyone was on the, hey, Chip, do something. You know what I mean? Because all these personnel actions that he made during the offseason, his system not working. We're used to 29 points a game. We were at like 19 points a game. We're like, did last. And as far as 3 and outs. As far as I think we had 17 3 and outs. It was like leading the league and leading the whole NFL as far as just inefficient offense. And so the whole media, all eyes on Chip. So let's give him some credit and let's talk about that though. What were some of the adjustments, like you said, that you saw out there? We talked about, maybe putting DeMarco Murray behind Sam Bradford in a single back formation. Also, we noticed that Chip came in and he moved Sam Bradford in the pocket more by the play action. And really, in order to get the run game started, what he did was he used the pass to set up the run. Did anybody see that from the watching the game?
Well, yeah, they were absolutely using the pass to set up the run, but they had to keep the defensive line honest. And when you saw Ryan Matthews, now the one thing I couldn't understand is when DeMarco was in the game, it was a lot of shotgun runs. When Ryan Matthews was in the game, it was a lot of under center. But he's using all those three backs to their talents. And you are absolutely right. He was creating space with Sam Bradford, creating a little bit of breathing room by using the run to set up the entire offensive line would crash, the defense would go with it, and Sam would just roll out. Now, all of a sudden, he's got all the space and all the time to make the throws that he has to make. So, again, Chip Kelly, offensively, getting creative and creating space both for his quarterback to breathe and also the receivers getting open.
So, when talking about the running backs, I guess my question or the observation that I was making, I mean, freaking Matthews is just tearing it up, right?
The visor, as I like to call it.
Oh, the visor.
The visor.
Is that what you like to call it?
Well, we had some greats who wore the visor. I mean, we can go back to Jim McMahon, but I won't. We'll start with the great Brian Dawkins. How about that? The Jim McMahon quote.
Yeah, there you go.
Michael Vick with the visor, and now Ryan Matthews. I'm calling him the visor. Get the ball to the visor.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And, you know, leading up to this, Murray had mentioned he wanted more touches. But when watching them side by side, you know, Murray would go in and not go anywhere. And then immediately Matthews would go in and get us the first down and get some numbers. And at the end of this game, you look at their numbers, Murray has over double the carries, and there's only a 10-yard difference between the two. You know, and Matthews averaged like 9.1 yards. So there's this huge difference. And I'm just wondering why is Murray struggling so much to, you know, where he should be, if not comparable, better than what Matthews is doing?
Delia, you bring up a great question, and I'm glad you actually asked that question, because I was saying the same thing. I was writing down, just taking a look. You know, people have been talking about it. Some of the analysts out there have been saying that from day one, from training camp, that DeMarco Murray is not a good personnel fit for the scheme that we run, meaning this: we run a lot of east-west run plays, a lot of sweeps, a lot of traps where guards are pulling, centers are pulling, which, by the way, they did an excellent job of this game. And it requires the running back to diagnose the hole, so you have to have great running vision. And then you also have you have to have some elusiveness that we've seen with Shady McCoy and Brian Westbrook and those type of running backs. And you also have to have the ability to make a cut, but not also just make a cut, but not lose any speed. Now, as far as DeMarco Murray, he really doesn't fit that style. And so a lot of commentators from day one has been saying that DeMarco Murray is a north-south type of running back. He's used to running behind that big offensive line out there in Dallas where the holes were gaping. Like, you and I can run through those holes. Like, anybody can run through those holes. The problem with us is that we don't have that same type of interior beef that the Dallas offensive line did. And so now you're seeing DeMarco Murray on these sweeps, and you're seeing him on these tosses, on these outside zone. He's running east and west. He can't really explode and make those type of cuts like you see a Ryan Matthews do, or Darren Sproles, or just having the ability to make a defender miss in the backfield. Because, again, you know, we're going to have some penetration from time to time. You see DeMarco Murray, he just hits one hole, and if it's not there or not, and that's what you see with Joseph Randall when he said that DeMarco Murray leaves a little meat on the bone. And I actually put that in my notes too, is that you see it. It shows up on the game tape. He runs directly into one hole, whether it's clogged up or not. He doesn't have the ability to bounce it outside or bounce it inside, take another hole. And so right now, Ryan Matthews is really the better fit, you know, and I really try to give it a benefit of the doubt. But here we are, 5 games into the season now, you know, and it's without question, Ryan Matthews is the more explosive running back and the better fit in this scheme is what I'm seeing on my end.
I couldn't have said it any better myself, to be honest with you. Because here's what we have found out in the first 4 or 5 games of this season, what DeMarco Murray can't do more than what DeMarco Murray can do. And also what he needs to be successful. What he can't do is he can't make the first guy miss. He's not a first guy miss kind of back. What he needs is a lot of touches. You need to feed that man the ball and feed him the ball and feed him the ball. It's just like Rocky doing body blows. You need to have him hit the hole, hit the hole, hit the hole to even get him going. Like you said, we do not have the beef in the interior offensive line to make that happen. The other thing he needs is an under center running start, and he needs a fullback. That's not something he's going to get in Philadelphia.
No.
The reason why you're seeing Ryan Matthews have that kind of success is because he can make that first cut, pick the hole that he wants to, not go to the hole that he's assigned to, and then make the first guy miss. DeMarco Murray's just a different type of running back, and we're seeing that we paid this guy, signed him to what, a $40 million contract, and maybe he isn't – yeah, boy, and I'll tell you what, that is good. That is going to be a problem when it's time for boys like Fletcher Cox and some other of these guys to get contract extensions. We're going to be looking like at DeMarco Murray, like we're looking at Ryan Howard with the Phillies, being like, man, you are costing a lot of money.
So, I mean, looking back on it now, do we think that it was a kind of a knee-jerk reaction to go out and get a DeMarco Murray when we weren't able to obtain a Frank Gore? Because in my opinion, I don't think Frank Gore would excel in this offensive scheme as well. You know, you need a shifty back there who can make a cut and go north-south, but can also go east-west, and have the ability to make some defenders miss. And I don't see Frank Gore being that type of back as well.
Well, I mean, Ryan Matthews had a long injury history. He was always hurt. And then even DeMarco, a lot of injuries, always hurt. And then you had Darren Sproles, who was your passing scat back, your third down back. So I don't blame him for going out and getting a stable of good running backs. Just maybe this one, like you said, was a knee-jerk reaction, and maybe the Frank Gore kind of bailing on us caused this to happen.
Well, I think it was the best option at the time. And, I mean, still, it's early. I mean, maybe down the line he is going to have a lot of success for us. Or maybe in the playoffs he's going to be the guy being able to power through in the red zone to get us those touchdowns. Maybe –
Playoffs. Playoffs. Playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. Me and my hopeful thinking over here. If we get there,
right.
Having a running back like that is very valuable. Being able to power through. We saw him in this game break a lot of tackles. Yeah. I mean, he can power through dudes, and maybe he just needs to get himself warmed up and get all comfortable back in, with his whole new team. So I don't think it was a bad decision to get him. I just think this season is going to determine what we do moving forward with him, which I think it's still a good place to be. To have too many options is a good thing. And if we're in the position where we can play around with that, hey, it's all good. But before we get to the next thing, I want to give some shout outs because we do have, for those of you that are listening, you are not watching us on YouTube right now. We are live streaming on my YouTube channel, and on the live stream, you're able to chat on the little right sidebar, youtube.com/PhilaDehlia. And Dread on the beat, he was one of the first ones hopping on. So I want to say shout out, and he corrected my grammar in the title because I was all rushed. So I made that switch just for you. Dave L. And then who's on the Sports Skillet? E-Rock. He was chilling with us at Xfinity Live with the big beard.
Oh, nice. Yes. That's awesome. That's cool.
Shout out to Sports Skillet Radio. He said, loved partying with you as you danced on top of the bar.
Hey.
Do you even remember that part? Do you even remember that?
I'm saucing.
So I was just working on my Eagles victory dances. Gots to. So Eric Cartman, I see you there. Dave L. Playoffs, triple question mark. Hey. I'm a hopeful thinker. What can I say? So what I'm doing, so feel free to leave more questions. And what we're doing, E-Rock, he can see your comments too. We're going to randomly, if we see a good question or a good remark, we'll shout it out or we'll answer it if we feel like doing it. But for now, we are, greetings from Las Vegas. What's up, Eric? We're going to go back to Eagles. And I'm kind of pointing out, because this was a great win, a great victory. We saw a lot of good things, but before we kind of just go into the awesomeness that was, Fletcher Cox and all these amazing things that happened, I'm kind of picking on the small things here and there, like the DeMarco Murray, right. Or also, can we stop throwing to Coop on those key 3rd and 4th downs?
Hey,
like,
hey.
I'm just like, how many times? How many times? He's gonna be the clutch guy in those moments.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you on that one, Delia. 8 targets, I think maybe 2 or 3 receptions. Here's the thing. Riley Cooper is a possession receiver, but he's a possession receiver that struggles with drops. So it's like, how good of a possession receiver are you? He's the best blocking wide receiver maybe ever. Like, if there was a stat as far as for most blocks or pancakes, you know, Riley Cooper would be a Hall of Famer. But with that said, his main job is to get open, one, which he struggles to do. The times he did get open, him and Sam Bradford haven't been on the same page. And in this offense, our receivers, you really have to have the ability to what they call yards after the catch. You'll hear them called yak yards, right? You'll see Josh Huff, Jordan Matthews. They are really great at it right now. Even Nelson Aguilar, once we get him involved. But catching the ball, but then turning, making a move, running upfield for additional yards. Riley Cooper struggles at that. As soon as he catches the ball, you'll see, like I said, as a possession receiver, he goes immediately right down if he does. If he's not if there's no other, defender that's in the vicinity, he's going right down. But yeah, why are we going to him? If you remember the other game, we were asking a question about why are we going to Miles Austin on 3rd and 4th. I think this boils down to Sam Bradford at this point doesn't have that true trust in a number 1 receiver. He doesn't have that go-to receiver. We talked about like a Montana to Rice, you know what I mean? Or who else out there? Matt Ryan to Julio Jones out there. We don't have a go-to receiver right now. It's more of a by committee, and we're looking for one of our young receivers to step up. Josh Huff had a great game. It was a coming out party for Josh Huff. And you heard Chip Kelly say this. Chip Kelly says that you sink to the level of your training. Meaning this, Josh Huff was out with an injury, so he was out that Jets game, I believe it was. Had a chance to practice, but kind of partially practice in the Redskins game. And so this was his full first week of full practice. He was playing lights out in practice. And Chip believes if you play like you practice. And so he saw the direct translation between Josh Huff excelling in practice and looking good, and now he's able to bring that same type of skill set to the game. So Josh Huff, look out for him to continue to get a little bit more snaps. Hopefully we can get Riley Cooper and Miles Austin and those guys out of there and get Aguilar going and get Josh Huff going as well. I mean, what's your thoughts on it, E?
I am so sick of Riley Cooper. I am just so sick of talking about him. I'm so sick of looking at him. I'm sick of Chip talking about him like he's blocking, like he's Hines Ward or something like that. Hines Ward was the best blocking wide receiver that ever lived.
Yeah.
But, look, black people don't want him on this team. White people don't want him on this team. Nobody wants him on this team. But you're right. We don't have a legitimate number 1, number 2. And if there's a credit to anything, is spreading the ball around and keeping the defense guessing. I guess throw it to Riley. The Riley thing is just such a sore subject. I'm so sick of talking about him.
It's it's tough. It's tough
when we have to watch him be thrown to on key downs. Like, that's what bothers me. Yeah. Like, I don't mind if it's like 1st, 2nd down, but it's like these 3rd and like 4th, and it's just like, oh, why did you? And then I have to be reminded he's still in there, and then reminded why, and then it's just like, And
then he drops the passes like he got too much Perk Plus on his hands, like all that conditioner he put in his hair, it just slipped out through his hands.
That's a Florida boy. Yeah, that's a Florida boy now.
But yeah, Philly, you brought up a good point in that the lack of trust is there. So since Cooper, he's one of the more veteran receivers that we have on the team, that maybe that's why Bradford feels more comfortable with him. But also it's because Matthews could be that guy, but we're still seeing drops from him. And that's another big concern. I see that it's that one in the end zone. It hit his gut and fell out.
Yep.
So, I mean, every single game we've kind of witnessed that. And it's like he still hasn't gotten over that final play of the Falcons game. And that's a problem. I mean, I think he needs time and he needs to get over it. And as long as, he can get past these drops and we still keep getting wins, he'll start to improve. But it's a little glitch in the Matthews system right now. And it's not something you can just fix through practice, because I'm sure like he's practicing fine. And in practice, he makes those catches. But when it's in those game moments, like he just overthinks it or like freezes or something, and it doesn't play out how he practices.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
big time players, you'll hear that quote around the NFL. Big time players make big time plays. You know, right now, if Jordan Matthews wants to step up to be a big time player, like we all know that he's capable of, then he needs to go out there and make those big time plays. Right now, we haven't had him do that in the clutch right now. Like I said, Josh Huff hasn't been there. Nelson Aguilar, this was his second week in a row of having a penalty on a pick play. And that is when the play's not designed to go to him, but his job is to really cause interference of the other defender who's the play designed to go to. But here's the thing, you can't just go and smack the other defender. Like, you've got to run your route. And he needs to be coached up on that, because we've had 2 touchdowns, and it would have been another touchdown had not Jordan Matthews dropped that ball, like you said, hit him right in the numbers. But we had 2 touchdowns called back because of the pick play, and Nelson Aguilar, the rookie, struggling in some of those key clutch moments.
I just think there's a lot of pressure on the offense. It isn't Jordan Matthews, although that is completely between the ears with him. Ryan Matthews is dropping passes. Zach Ertz is dropping passes. Riley Cooper's dropping passes. There's a lot of people dropping passes, and I think there's so much pressure for these guys to actually catch the ball and keep this offense moving and give the defense a rest. They're feeling pressure from the defense too. So, Delia, you played tennis. I mean, you know when that ball's coming, there's that little glitch where you're like, oh my God, here it comes, and like all of a sudden it falls out of your hands, and you're like, oh my God, I just dropped it.
I can relate completely, because I have that same problem in tennis where in practice my forehand's my most dominant, shot, and I make it every single time, complete control. But then certain times when I've been in a match, like for some reason my mind will just like go crazy and my forehand will just like freeze up. And like the easiest shots in the world, I just start missing. And it's something that I have to like work out in my head by myself in order to be able to win the game, and it's a process where it starts out so shaky and crazy. But by the end, after I fight through it and like I do weird things, like I yell at myself, we hit our legs, like girls do weird things on the tennis court. And like after a series of just doing that, then I'm back in it. I'm good and I'm unstoppable. But
girls do weird things just on the tennis court? Just on the tennis court?
Right. So you got some mental lapses that and listen, this Monday night game is a primetime game. This is, again, we want to see what Eagles players are going to step up when the lights are on. Like the whole NFL is looking at you. The national media is looking at you right now. All eyes are going to be on the Eagles. They want to see, what are we going to do? We're going to call it the Blackout Monday night. Looking for the black uniforms out here against a big division game against the New York Giants, who's been playing some really good football as of late. Eli Manning looks like he's an elite quarterback again. Looks like a Super Bowl Eli Manning. You got ODB back there. So it should be a good game. And again, I'm just saying that to say that we're going to have some opportunities for these young guys to make some big time plays. And let's see, just kind of keep an eye on who steps up to make those type of plays for us.
Ooh, who is going to step up? So does the offense carry this momentum? That's the biggest question for me going into this Monday night game, blackout win. Now, was the last time we played the Giants in the blackout uniforms, was it the shutout?
It was 27-0.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Any Giants fans? Any Giants fans in the stream? Remember that 0? What's up, primetime? NFS. Actually, he won FanDuel League 2 weeks ago. Congrats on that. He's got money. So yeah, I'm curious: is the offense gonna continue this momentum, and are we gonna see a full game from them?
Right. Well, we definitely, we have yet to put together a full 60 minutes of football. We talked about it last week. This one was a little bit better in that we had a very productive second half. All of our points, the primary points, the majority of our points came in the second half. We still have yet, I say again, we still have yet to score a touchdown in the first quarter. Really struggling in that department. We really got to come out, and like I said, we had opportunities. We had 300 yards in the first half. We moved the ball. Moving the ball wasn't an issue for us. The issue was when we got in the red zone, Sam Bradford, inconsistencies. overthrowing, making throws that he definitely should not make. Had a wide open Riley Cooper in the back of the end zone, just throws it right into Brandon Browner, who's struggling all year. And then again, he throws again and throws it directly. Throws to Mal Austin, of all people, and has his pass picked off again. So that really hurt back-to-back turnovers. We really had the opportunity to score maybe 17 points, and we walked away with like 0. So we really got to see us put together a full 60 minutes, first half, second half. We saw the return. Here's one plus, though, we can take away. We saw the return of the tempo. We saw them the New Orleans Saints. I don't know if you guys saw that on film, on the broadcast, but it caused the Saints. The Saints had some issues with our tempo and keeping up. I believe they played 79 snaps on defense up there. And you heard what's the coaches for the New Orleans Saints?
Sean Payton.
So you heard Sean Payton at his press conference after the game mention that, hey, his defense was gassed. They were tired playing that amount of snaps. So when you hear Billy Davis say, we're okay, no, we're not tired, maybe not so much, Although we do train for it more so than other teams, but you can tell anytime your defense got to be on the field that long, you're going to have some issues, though. So, that's something we definitely got to work on going forward, though.
Defense finally got a rest this week.
Yeah, I mean, when you're going up against the Giants, if the offense can just have a varied look on offense and a good offensive game plan like they had against the Saints, they're going to be fine. But what really needs to happen on Monday Night Football is exactly what happened the last time we had the blackout and the last time we played them, and that is putting a ton of pressure
Say it again.
on Eli Manning. Because maybe Phil can help me out with the stats there, but I remember it was like an 8, 9, 10 sack game.
Yeah.
Connor Barwin had like 3 or 4 of them, and if you're able to rattle Eli early, all those offensive weapons, Odell Beckham Jr., it doesn't mean who got. Because you're in between his ears now, and he gets once he gets rattled early, that's it. He's a wrap.
Yeah, and we're facing a more balanced New York Giants offense. Again, they have been pretty good scoring as far as with the pass, of course, with ODB. Hey, Victor Cruz out. Not sure if he's going to be a go for the Monday night. I'm pretty sure he'd like to get back though for Monday night, and you put Victor Cruz along with Randall and along with ODB. That's a pretty potent wide receiver core. But you also got to pay attention now to the running game of the New York New York Giants with Shane Vereen catching a lot of passes out of the backfield. But hey, speaking of, Malcolm Jenkins has been doing. Have y'all seen that? Malcolm Jenkins has been coming up and laying the wood on any running back, attempting, even trying to catch anything out of the backfield lately. Like, how about the play of Malcolm Jenkins there?
I mean, our defense, I'm just amazed. We have a very impressive defense right now. They're making these hits, making these tackles, and shout out to our boy Fletcher Cox. NFC Defensive Player of the Week for a reason. 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. I mean, if they bring that type of play and they pressure Eli, like you said, we are in a good position. And I like our chances.
Yeah.
If they can bring that pressure, not only will it be the blackout at Lincoln Financial Field, it'll be lights out for Eli Manning again.
There you go. Hey.
What? Oh. Lights out.
Good night.
Oh.
Good night.
Who is ODB? You mean OBJ? No, I mean ODB.
ODB.
Odell Beckham.
Oh, dirty bastard. No,
that's what I call. What are you calling me?
What do y'all call him? Right.
Do you call him OBJ or ODB?
I call him Fraggle Rock because he's got hair like a Fraggle. He's got that Fraggle hair.
Hey.
And it's blind.
That works.
But the boy plays lights out, though. He plays lights out.
He is an unbelievable player.
He has a hamstring injury.
Yeah.
I don't know how serious that is, but that could limit his performance. And shout out to NFS Beckham for referencing that.
Mm-hmm.
OBJ. Oh, a lot of OBJers. Well, you know what? I do things differently. Okay, that's how I roll.
How about the comment from Dave L here? Brandon Graham needs to step it up. What do you guys think about the play? Let's just set this up. I mean, Trent Cole goes out, you know, one of our all-time leading sack pass rushers here. Sorry, brain fart there. Pass rushers
I thought
here.
you like deactivated or something. I was like, wait, let me plug him back in, guys.
Okay, I'm back. All right, I'm back. But here, Brandon Graham's in, right outside linebacker, coming in to play the predator role. He's coming in to basically get to the quarterback. That's your job. That's your main duty. We don't want you back there dropping back in the coverage. We want you to get after the quarterback. And it's been a quiet year so far. Only 5 games into the season, but it's been a quiet year so far from Brandon Graham. What are you guys seeing from BG?
Well, when they signed him long term, when they signed him long term. He had a great year last year because he was a situational pass rusher. He wasn't on the field for 3 downs. Yeah. He was on the field for maybe 1 or 2. And he had a great year in the role he was playing. Now, sometimes you can project that to a 3-down linebacker, and sometimes it doesn't work out all that well. Right now, you're seeing Brandon Graham was a great fit for the role in the defense that he was last year, but he is no Trent Cole whatsoever. He may be able to drop back into coverage a little better than Trent Cole, but as far as getting after the quarterback, with the amount of sacks or the lack thereof that we've had this year, you can't tell me that the Eagles aren't missing Trent Cole or at least a Trent Cole-like player better than Brandon Graham this year when they're going up against these offenses.
Yeah. Like, I ain't even going to complain, though, because I'm so happy with our defense overall. I think prior to this season, there's been so much lacking, especially within the secondary, and I feel like we have a lot of the pieces filled, and despite injuries, you know, not having Kiko, we're still kind of seeing this defense really shine, you know.
Right. So Delia, you're telling me you don't miss Kerry Williams, you don't miss Bradley Fletcher, you don't miss those guys.
Oh,
Nate Allen.
Fletch just got cut, by the way.
Oh, he did.
Fletch just got cut, and Kerry Williams is getting burnt every day.
Fletcher was with what? The Patriots.
He was with the Patriots. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Deion Lewis, the old Pittsburgh guy, stepping up out there. So shout out to Deion Lewis.
Oh man, I'm feeling good. And you know, we're not saying his name because there's so many other names within the defense that are just doing freaking amazing, like Hicks. Like he's just like, I just can't stop talking about him. I'm sorry, you know, this guy's gonna get overshadowed because our guys are doing great things. And you know, as long as they can keep at this pace and keep improving and keep just killing the offenses, we'll be good. So,
well, I think having a pass rush right now, because right now Fletcher Cox is the only type of pass rusher we have. With the exception of my cousin Vinny, who's also getting to the quarterback. You know, I think he actually led us last year in the amount of sacks. No, excuse me, he was second next to Connor Barwin, of course. Borrowing.
Every day I'm borrowing. Every day.
But Vinny Curry's been a quiet year for him so far. And you heard Billy Davis say that these sacks come in bunches, so kind of be a little bit more patient. You know, like we've had some, I think the Carolina game last year, we had like a 9-sack performance. So we may, you know, maybe play one of those type of games where we just see that all our pass rushers just go out and just ball out and just get as many sacks as possible. So far, that hasn't happened yet. We do need Brandon Graham to step up because that's going to help the secondary even more. You heard Fletcher Cox after the game in his press conference say that, hey, he credited all his sacks, and he had 3 sacks to covered sacks, you know, meaning that on the back end, they did an excellent job. And you'll hear when the secondary, when they get interceptions, they'll say, hey, we had an excellent pass rush. And so the quarterback had to get rid of the ball faster than he would have. And so that allowed me to jump on the ball. And so they kind of, you know, they play off of each other. So we need both of them really excelling at this point. But like you said, with that said, we're doing pretty well.
Feeling good. I'm reading these comments over here. How's Patrick Chung doing? He's at the Patriots too, isn't he?
Yeah. Sucks. He sucked then. He sucked.
Good enough to get a contract extension. I don't know how that happened.
Right. All right. Let's see. What else we got? Cornerback Prince. What is
Prince Amukamura?
There you are.
From the New York Giants.
There you go.
Attack them. Make them run.
Big games for Eagles wide receivers this week. I sure hope so.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see Aguilar. I keep saying every game I want to see him have a breakout game. I have a new Aguilar jersey.
Hey.
Shout out to Eric. Hanging out at the Greyhound Barn Grill. By the way, will you be chilling with us on Monday night?
We'll be at the Monday night game at the Greyhound.
Okay. And you gonna be at the game, E-Rock?
No, you know I'm gonna be at the game.
In
fact, after I get done here, I have to.
I was like, yo, go look for my boy E-Rock up in the F1 lot. You know, he knows how to tailgate, son. With your cigar. Yeah. All correct.
After we get done with this podcast, I actually got to Photoshop up my sign. I'm doing a sign in the end zone like I normally do. I skipped last week, but I'll have my my nice new sign, and I'm pretty excited about it. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one.
Can we get a sneak peek here?
That's what I say. Can we get a little sneak peek?
Right, if you check my Instagram. If you check my Instagram, the last year's sign was there. I posted that, and it's going to be along the same theme, but you know, it's all blackout, and it's all about Eli, and we're going to mesh those two quite nicely.
All about Eli. I like it already. Okay, I saw your meme with all the Eli faces.
Yes.
Very nice. You know, he's getting good, man. All right, if y'all don't follow him on Facebook and Twitter. He's bringing the A game with these Eagles memes, Eagles pictures, Eagles signs, whatever. So I'm all about it. We're about to wrap up this Eagles talk. Do you got any additional tidbits or insights or
just a great win by the Philadelphia Eagles. We were able to snap our 3-game losing streak against the Saints. So, you know, shout out to them for that. And you know, we're looking forward to the big Monday night blackout.
All right.
And just final thought by me. Listen, if the Eagles can win this game, all of a sudden they become back into the picture, legitimate contenders for the NFC East. Yeah. If they win this game. If they do not win this game, you know, we fall to a level that I'm not sure that we're going to be able to climb out of. So we put ourselves in a situation where every game seems like a must win. Make no mistake about it. Against the New York Giants, we can't lose the 3 NFC East opponents. We can't go down another loss. There's a game the Eagles have to win, and let's go Birds.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're about to sign out the Eagles talk. That's when E-Rock, it's past his bedtime. He's got to head on out. But let everyone know where they can find you.
They can find me on Twitter at the Mighty E-Rock, on Instagram at the Mighty E-Rock. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/the Mighty E-Rock. And if you're going to the game, I will be, of course, as Delia said, in parking lot F1 with a fat stogie in my mouth and getting ready for some Giants hate.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks again for joining us.
All right. See you guys next week. Deuces.
All right, bro. Peace.
Go Birds.
Woo! All right. Well, there you have it. Now, so if you're new here, E-Rock stays on for our Eagles talk. And then we do a little NFL talk. And, you know, today I was kind of just in this whole Eagles zone. I didn't really prep any NFL topics, but I figured it'd be a good opportunity to ask you guys, what is the news in the NFL that you find interesting or that you'd like to talk about right now? And while we wait for that, we will pick one topic amongst ourselves to start into. Okay. So we are freestyling right now.
Right now, off the top, off the dome.
Okay, that's how we go.
We don't know where this is going to go.
Okay. So anything stand out to you this week outside of Eagles football?
Yeah.
That you'd like to chat about?
Yeah, I think you still got to look at the undefeated teams. You know, you got a lot of teams right now who are 5-0. Most likely you may want to start with you know, like it or not, New England Patriots. Also at 5-0. The Cincinnati Bengals with an impressive win over the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Supersonics. Supersonics. Yeah, the Seattle Seahawks. Great win. Come back from behind. Like, they were down 17 points to come back for the win. You got the undefeated Atlanta Falcons there. I think Carolina Panthers are still undefeated. So, you know, you got a couple of teams right now who are still looking good, undefeated, who may really impress and really go deep into the playoffs.
Okay. Bengals, I think they're legit. Patriots, I think they're legit. Falcons?
Yeah.
Not
Not
so
so
legit.
much.
Okay, that's where I'm at. Sorry, Falcons fans. Sorry, Sports Live in the ATL. I know I'm going to hear from you. But their only opponents have been NFC East.
Yeah.
Or who did they play last week? This would be their one game outside of the East. But so they have 4 out of 5 games against the worst division in the league right now.
Are we the worst?
Not the worst,
Okay.
but the slowest starting I'd say.
Yeah.
We started out slow. Okay. Week 1, you know, right. Eagles went slow, you know, and I think the Giants, same thing, and Cowboys, we're just one of these teams. It's a league that it's bipolar. We're the bipolar league, and they caught the bipolar league on their down moment. So lucky them. But what that does is it gives us, who don't really watch them play all the time, this false sense of like, oh, they're good, or oh, they're unstoppable because they're undefeated. But like, you really look at it, like, who did they play last week? They barely beat the Washington football team, the Redfins, or whatever name we give them. And to me, that says, all right, I think they're going to be the next to go down.
I could definitely see that happening. But with that said, hey, a win is a win. They got confidence. They're playing with some confidence right now, and so that really helps a football team, play better than they actually are when you're able to go out there and get some wins against some teams that you may not have thought you could beat. So the Falcons are playing at a high level right now.
So Dave L wants to mention the refs. The refs. Let's see. Horrible mistakes.
Oh, on the Eagles game? Oh, absolutely. You saw Chip Kelly go off. I think somebody said, I can't even quote it right now.
Oh, yeah. What do you say? Now I want to know.
So it's been reported that Chip Kelly told the ref, and this is the reason for the unsportsmanlike conduct flag, was that he told the refs to go F themselves after, yes, the pass interference play should have been called on Darren Sproles on 3rd down and was not called. Chip went clean ham, as he had the right to, because it should have been a pass interference call. The D-back was all over Sproles on that 3rd down, and we had to turn the ball over. Questionable. Yeah, definitely questionable.
I mean, Eagles, I'm used to it now. It's a part of our game now where we just have to play slightly better to offset those just calls that we don't get or do get that just hurt our progression throughout the game. And, it's tough to have to think about that. And, again, it's part of the game. Everyone gets bad calls. But it's just, damn, it seems like the Eagles get a lot of these moments. And, we can't really complain. It's just, what? Hey, man.
Well, the thing that that really ticked Chip Kelly off is that, like, I think 2 plays prior to that, they called Jordan Matthews. They had this little Keenan Lewis try to go up and jam 6'3", 220. Jordan Matthews at the line of scrimmage. Jordan Matthews just goes and bull rushes this guy and just knocks him clean flat on his tail. And this was within 5 yards. Like, the guy tried to jam him and got knocked down, and we get called for offensive pass interference within 5 yards. Like, even this commentators are like, really? What's going on there?
I don't get it.
I've never seen it.
I don't get how it can be so blatant too and so obvious, and like how you know what? I'll go on forever about these refs, but Dilip Nalur wants us to rank the top 5 QBs right now. So I say let's get what we agree upon to be the top 5 quarterbacks within the league right now.
I think it's easy to go. Who you have as number 1 right now?
The first, when you think just top NFL quarterbacks, the first name that pops in my head is Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is the consensus number 1 quarterback right now in the league. Number 2.
Number 2.
It's pretty easy since they're undefeated.
Brady.
Tom Brady. Number 2. Number 3 is where 3 to 5 is really where it gets a little difficult. I'm going to go with Carson Palmer.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to go right now playing with the way he has that Cardinals offense balling out right now. Larry Fitzgerald is back. I'm going to go Carson Palmer. Is there anyone else you could see at 3 or 4 that we might put in that little range there?
Let me. Not
Let's
any of
take a
these
look,
guys.
right.
Yeah. I mean, normally I would.
Yeah, you're going through. You're looking through. Peyton Manning
And
sucks right now.
But see, like we're going because they're winning, and I guess him right now, you have to say that. But it's like you wouldn't normally like. How can we have him higher than Peyton Manning? You know, it's just kind of crazy to think about that.
Peyton is struggling, and that's been a big talk, a discussion that the Denver Broncos defense right now is really leading the way for the Denver wins. Because they're undefeated as well, I believe. Yeah, they haven't lost a game, and it hasn't really been to what Peyton Manning has been doing. Is really what he hasn't been doing. So he's really just been a game manager at this point in his career, which is a big drop off from the Hall of Fame Peyton Manning, that big explosive plays that we're used to seeing. So right now in his career, it's not. I don't even have him as a top 10 quarterback, Peyton Manning, right now.
Damn.
You could go. You could even. You could. No, I was gonna say Andrew Luck off of just ability.
Like right?
I
feel like I would want to go there. They're just struggling so bad.
But after on performance, I would have to. Looking at this list, I'm going Carson Palmer. Yeah. Number 4. You could, Cam. Oh, Cam.
Oh, he even gets a song. Look at him. Special
Cam. And FSS got Cam Newton. That's right, bro. Matter of fact, you could possibly Cam Newton 3 or 4 right now. He's really been playing some good football. 3 or 4, Cam Newton. 5. Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm going number 5, Matty Ice to Julio Jones.
Yeah.
And again, I think 3, 4, and 5 can be. No, I would say 4 and 5 can be interchangeable. I'm definitely going Palmer at 3. So again, 1, Rodgers. We agree with that. Tom Brady 2. 3, based on performance alone right now, Carson Palmer. Only because there's really not too many other quarterbacks who's really balling out right now.
Yeah.
4 and 5, I'm going with Cam Newton and who was the other guy we just said? Oh, Andy Dalton. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Andy Dalton. Oh, we got to take one out. Well, let's see. Because Andy Dalton's been doing a great job there in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati's undefeated.
Yeah, you got to put him in right now.
With that said, maybe you put Andy Dalton at 3 or 4. Now, that's tough now. Yeah.
Dang.
Great question. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, we're leaving that up to you. 4 or 5. It's up for debate between Andy Dalton, Matty Ice, and Cam Newton. Boom. 3, 4, and 5 can go either way. Dave L says Dalton sucks.
Well, Andy Dalton's like any other young quarterback in this league. He's got to prove it in the playoffs.
Yes.
Got to prove it in the playoffs.
All right, we have a Sports Skillet Radio. NFL tells D'Angelo Williams he can't
I've had
wear
3 blind moments already, so we're good.
No, you deactivated.
No, I was like, wait.
I was like, oh damn, I forgot to plug him in. He's out of battery
Okay,
life.
I'm back.
I'm gonna like cut that part out and make it a gif.
Hey, we should probably do that.
I know. That's hilarious. I'm like, don't worry, I'll find it. I'll find you. So Sports Skillet Radio, D'Angelo Williams, he can't wear pink throughout the season to honor his mother who died of breast cancer. No fun league. So he had submitted a request to be able to wear pink throughout the season.
Oh.
Not just through breast cancer awareness.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really feel bad about that. Firstly, that his mother passed, and he's just trying to honor her, you know, by wearing pink the whole time. The NFL is so strict on their uniforms and logos and what they can and can't wear. I get it. But, yeah, you would like to see them kind of make. But if they make an exception there, then the question is, who else can we make an exception for and that sort of thing. Yeah, that's just that's a bad situation.
Yeah, I guess, I see it both ways. And then also, I forget who else it was, but they got fined or they had the eye black and they had written a message in the eye black.
Yeah, I was
like, that's a bit extreme.
They're pretty anal when it comes to exactly what they want you to wear on that field. The NFL doesn't play there. A lot of money involved. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have time for, unless we have any last topic you'd like to throw in there. So let me, before we sign out, get my theme. Oh no, I think I closed it. The soundtrack music.
Oh, Ladies and gentlemen, we had a great outro for you.
Well, it was the intro as well. So,
intro and outro.
Yes.
We're just going to be sampling different little music clips, little instrumentals. We're trying to come out with a good intro and outro.
These are G4D originals, Madden G4D originals. I do have the song pulled up now. Now, should we do the same song that we did in the intro, or should we do a different?
Let's give it a little bit of a different flavor. And let's see.
We'll do this other one. You like that first one?
Power up.
All right, this is T Power Up, and we about to outro on this song. There you have it, Eagles Landing Podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
We are available on iTunes and Stitcher. The Stitcher link is in the description below. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, and we will be here every Wednesday.
Midweek Eagles Fix. Hey guys, listen, give us your feedback. Tell us some of the things you like about the show. Tell us some of the things you don't like about the show. We know haters are going to hate, so hate on your comments. Please do so. But whatever it is, hate or love, leave a comment. Let us know how we're doing, what you guys would like to see us do on the show.
All right, that's it. Signing out.
Peace.